Algebra 1 class. Today's lesson is on area method, and we'll have 3 boxes to follow along with an extension for homework. So for this first box, we'll be reading how do we read area tiles. So this is actually important for us to go on with the lesson on how to read it. So area tiles are just a tile that we use to describe how much area it takes up. In this case, the tile on the left, if I colored it in, gives us a 1 by 1, length times width, and if I multiply that, it would give us an area of 1. The bar in the middle, if I color that bar in, it would give us an area of x times 1, which will give us area equals x. And if I were to color in the box to the right, I would get an x times x, which would give us an area of x squared. So these 3 area tiles are a method for us to describe how to multiply binomials, which will be in box 2. So moving along down, we have an example of x plus 2 times x plus 1. So using the area method in our tiles, we can describe x plus 2 and x plus 1 using our squares, rectangles, and x squared squares. So if I was to draw out our x plus 2, on the left I can use a bar for x, because again we have x1, and then I can use 2 squares to describe plus 2, because again we have a 1 by 1. We could do the same for x plus 1 too, and we'll describe it using the top side of it. So if I can get a square going, there we go. So I have one rectangle, which will be used for x, and again that would be 1 by x. And then I can do the same for plus 1, where I can use a square to describe the 1 that we have, because again we have a 1 by 1 square. So if we were to then multiply these, if I did multiply these 2 bars, I would get the x squared box. And then if I was to then multiply the box times the rectangle, just because it's 1 times x, I would get x. And that would happen again down here, which if I multiplied x by 1, I would get x. And we could do the same for the box on the right. We would get x times 1, and then 1 times 1, which would give us a little box, and another little box for 1 times 1. Again, we have 1, 1, x. So if we were to count up our x squares, we would have 1x squared, and we can cross that off because now we counted it. We can count how many x's we have. We have 1, 2, 3, so we have 3 x's. Cross this off too. And we can count how many 1's we have. We have 1, 2. So we can add that to our x squared plus 3x, and that would give us our binomial simply by using the area tiles and multiplying the area tiles. So our answer, if we were to use the FOIL method or the area tile method, would give us x squared plus 3x plus 2. So in our third box, we have a U-try, where you multiply using the area tiles, and you're going to be multiplying x plus 3 times x plus 2. I'll give you a chance to do that right here. So if we were to multiply x plus 3, if we're going to draw that out as rectangles and squares, we would have 1 rectangle for x, and then 3 little squares for 3. And we could do the same for x plus 2. We have a rectangle, and then since we have 2, we have 2 1 by 1s. So again, we have x plus 3, 1, 1, 1, and then x plus 2, 1, 1. And we can multiply these rectangles and squares. So An x times an x would give us, again, an x squared. X times 1 would give us x. X times 1 would give us x. That would be the same right here as well. And if we move across to the right, we have x times 1, x. And that would be the same right here as well. And if we move down, we have a box times a box, which would give us just 1. Would be the same right here, and that can be counted right here as well. And then moving down the far right column, we have another box, and 3 boxes all the way down. Again, we have x squared, x, 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 all these x's that we have to count up. We also have all these little 1 boxes, the 1 by 1s, that we can count up as well. So we know we only have 1x squared. So I'm going to cross that out because we already got rid of it. We counted it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 x's. We can cross all those off. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 1 by 1 boxes. We can cross all those boxes off too because we counted those. So we can add, oops, there we go. We can add 6 to this when we've already counted all our boxes that we were able to multiply. So our answer from multiplying x plus 3 times x plus 2 would give us the polynomial of x squared plus 5x plus 6. If you didn't get this, we can go back and try it again. So moving down to our last and final box, which is our extension. Our extension is how can we use algebra tiles to multiply x minus 2 and x plus 3. So your last question that you need to finish is what is different here and how do you think this will impact our method? So what's different from the last two that we did in this problem right here? Tomorrow we'll come back and we'll talk about this and try to solve it in class. Thank you guys very much. You guys have a good day.